right, everyone. Welcome back to another Coyote Radio Show and podcast. Great guest today. Eric Bolander's with us out of Kentucky. We got a big show coming up here at Duke's Indy for the New Year's Eve Honky Tonk Bash with Jeremy Pinnell and Hannah Juanita. Of course, Eric's going to be there doing his thing. Great artist, great writer, very soulful, powerful. He's got a good projecting voice. Great writer, like I said. A couple favorites I'll throw out there. I like a newer one called Cold Men's a good one. The Wind's really great to vibe out to. What else? The Road, I really like that one. Song he did with Abby Hamilton was really good. So there's a whole bunch. So check him out if you don't know who he is. If you already know, then you know. But I do want to say thanks to everyone that's been liking, sharing, subscribing. We have a website now, so things are looking good. I got merch now. This is brand new stuff. So we got a new logo. And then here's a good one. 0 tolerance for corn dick pop country. These are all at the website. So grab one and we'll go from there. But I think that covers it. Let's go talk to Eric and see what he's got to say. All right. Eric Bolander, thanks for being on the show, man. It's an honor and a pleasure.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
I kind of wanted to reach out to you, obviously listen to your music, but at the same time, we got a big New Year's Eve show coming up here at Duke's Indy. Jeremy Pinnell and Hannah Juanita.
Yeah, man.
And that's going to be, it sounds good so far. I mean, the pre-sales are flying out the door. So if you want a ticket, the link's below. If you're listening, you better grab one before it's too late.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, man. That's one of my favorite honky tonks. And, rest in peace, Dustin, who got that thing started and going and running. And actually, you mentioned Justin Wills earlier. He's the one that put me in contact with Dustin when I booked there first time I played it. It's been several years ago, but I know Justin Wells had played that spot a bunch, and he given me some contacts over the years. But I was thankful for that, and I got to at least meet Dustin once before he had passed away untimely, and that was awesome. I'm thankful for that, and I'm thankful for that bar, man. Duke's Indy. Shout out Duke's Indy, man. They do it right, and they're keeping his legacy going, and I love that they do that.
Yeah, it's our little slice of heaven around here.
Right on. Are you from Indy area?
Yeah, I'm probably 20 minutes from Duke's.
Right on. Yeah.
Oh, it's not far at all. Dustin was a great guy. So if you could,
I've yet to met one person that had an ill word to say about him. So that's a testament to how someone was while they were here, you know?
Yeah. So if you could, man, just kind of let's start from the beginning. Where you're from, where you grew up, what kind of music were you listening to, and how you kind of got into this whole music career.
Yeah, man. So I kind of came in a little unorthodox compared to some people. A lot of people have the origin story when they were a kid and they were, sitting on their dad's lap playing a banjo and things like that. I'd been around music. I did have family members that played, but not in my own home. My mom and dad neither played music, but I did grow up around good music, but good bluegrass and folk music around. I grew up in a small town called Garrison in northeast Kentucky, along the Ohio River and Kennebec Creek, and foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, and just small country town. So I grew up around some pickers and stuff, but I never had that, confidence that I could sing or play something. And I just, I had friends that played. My best friend Kevin kind of helped me learn some chords freshman year of college, and that's kind of when I started playing guitar. And then I took it from there and found out I had a pretty decent ear for it and could match pitch, and started singing a little bit. And then by the time I was in my early 20s, I was, trying to do some covers and things like that. And then it grew into writing some original music. But I played in a metal band, and I played in a rock and roll band, which I'm still in, Alcatraz Shakedown. And before I started doing the Eric Bolander Americana, depends who you talk to is a bad word, but I always use it. I feel like it's a catch-all. It's like the junk drawer of music genres. It's like I mean, it's important. It just still kind of catches everything. But country, sure. But I don't feel. I think maybe lyrically and like sort of attitude wise, maybe I am country. But I feel like musically and instrumentally, uh, myself and my bandmates have a little more to say than just country music, if that makes sense. And
Yeah.
so I'm always proud and happy when someone's like, "Hey, this is a country artist," and or "Hey, this song or that song," and get spun on some country playlists and things. I'm very proud of that. I just also know that it's always a weird thing to like try to genre and subgenre yourself, and
Yeah.
I just let other people do it, and I'm happy for it,
Yeah.
But but yeah, so back in let's see, 2000 and oh Lord, 14, 15, I started writing some solo stuff, and I at that point I had written, Lord knows how many songs collectively with my bandmates in my rock band, and prior to that in the metal band, and had played a lot of stages and sort of you kind of had some experience in that realm of live music. And then when I started doing my solo thing, you know, it it was more folk and country and kind of roots music. Uh, Kind of foundation of it was kind of roots music, I guess. And then yeah, man, just started coming from there and put out. At this point, I've put out an EP and 3, 4 records, and we just released one February of this year, and we're getting ready to release the LP probably late February, early March of next year, which I'm excited for.
Nice.
I feel like I didn't answer everything you asked me, but
No, this isn't really an interview. These are more like
right
discussion.
on.
That's how I like to roll with it.
I like thinking of it that way.
Yeah, this is definitely a laid back show.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, that's something that always gets to me too, because there's days that Americana word, you're right.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like, I don't know, and then I use it, but I don't like to
Sure.
use it. But
Yeah.
it's
I mean, Tyler Childers at the Americana Music Awards famously said, "Americana ain't no part of nothing." And I know exactly what he's saying, and I was very agreeable to how he said it because he was trying to say, "Hey, I'm very much a country artist. I'm proud to be a country artist. I'm writing real music and genuine country music," and he wanted to put it, kind of his name and face on that, and I respect the hell out of that for sure.
oh
Um,
yeah,
I just think it's a utility and it's a useful genre. But I know what he was saying. He was pointing his finger at kind of the machine and it's like, "Hey, call me what you want. I'm country music. I am a country music artist." And I get where he was coming from. But for me, I'm like, I am an Americana artist, and I'm okay with it.
yeah, that's great. Yeah, it's yours. Definitely have a unique style and sound to your music. I love
Thanks,
what you
man.
do with the string work, having those guys in there.
Yeah, Seth
That
Murphy's the cellist, and he's I'm fortunate that he plays on my stuff too, and he plays with a lot of different musicians in the Lexington and Central Kentucky area, and Ben, my drummer, he was the drummer of my metal band years ago,
okay.
so he had been singing with me for a long time, so he and I's voices kind of mesh real well. And then John Ferguson is with us on keys and also adds a third vocal, and he plays bass every now and then guitar. And my buddy Kyle from my same hometown or same home county in Northeast Kentucky had moved back to Kentucky, and he comes in and plays guitar for us, and it's cool to be able to have those guys and have them at the level they are musically kind of put their spin on all the songs I write. Um,
Yeah.
so I'm happy for that. Plus, with the live performance, like just depends on what the show. Like with the New Year's Eve show, we're gonna have Seth on cello and bass, me on guitar, electric and acoustic, and then Ben on drums and backing vocals, and it's kind of a power trio type of thing. It's cool. It's cool to be able to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, that is just being universal like that. I feel like too, like you're not. being considered Americana, and you can tell me if I'm wrong or whatnot, but like I don't think you really pay attention to that stuff. You're just making art, and what it is what it is. Because there's a lot of that stuff. It's like
totally.
it's kind of tough to put it in a genre depending on the song.
Sure. And I think that's okay. And I think there's a lot of artists that do it. I think there's a ton. Justin Wells is a good one, man. He's got a new album he's been working on. I know it's coming out next year. I think he just announced, and I'm excited to hear what he does. I mean, Sturgill Simpson might be the goat at it. He puts out, leaves his record label and then puts out blue because they want him to sound more country, and then he puts out bluegrass record. And then he puts out, a rock and roll record that's for an anime movie. I mean, I love that, man. And people that want to complain about it, it's like, well, you may very well be closed-minded in how you listen to music, and that's okay. You might listen to like the same 10 country artists over and over, and that's awesome. And they're happy to have your support. Maybe that's you don't vary from that genre. But when an artist does it, you can't. I don't hold my favorite artist to much of anything. I've got some favorite artists, like real favorite artists. They'll put out a record, and I'm like, oh nah, I mean, Metallica would be one of them. You're right. I love the old school Metallica. And it's like, God dang, man. Just because you got life insurance and a haircut doesn't mean you don't have to, you know, you have to suck at what you put out. But anyway, I could pick on them. They're big enough for me not to get in trouble, I guess. But I think it's fine, But I do like being that person, that artist that tries to blur some lines and try to push the envelope a bit. For me and for what I'm doing, not some kind of pretentious reason or nothing, but I hear something, I'm like, oh man, saxophone would be great right here on this, and then well, we're going to put saxophone on it, And it's I just think it needs to have what the artist kind of sees, and producers. Dwayne Lundy co-produces all my stuff, and he produces a crap ton of stuff that comes out of Central Kentucky, Lexington based area, and that the production side of things is very important, and you're not going to land it. You're just not going to land it every time. You're not going to land it for everybody. And I'm just thankful that I do have the listeners I have right now, and I'm just hoping to keep growing and gaining more, and do things like this, and get our stuff out there.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, you mentioned Metallica. I grew up on metal music. Like,
Yeah,
man. My
right
go-to.
Yeah, I mean, I was
said
all
that.
about the alternative grunge rock and metal and just, hard rock and roll. Just that's kind of where I lived after I grew up around the bluegrass, folk, country, and all that. And then as I got older and I was less of a curmudgeon, I started looking back at some of the classic country stuff. I mean, Don Williams was my dad's favorite ever, and then I have such a appreciation and respect for Don Williams, and that didn't happen until I was a little bit older.
Right.
That didn't happen while I was living through it, and Dad was playing, and I was in the car, and I just didn't respect it and didn't appreciate it. And that a lot of us can say that about a little bit of everything, right? But
Oh yeah.
for me, yeah, I really reached back once I grabbed that acoustic guitar seriously, even though I had one all the time. When I grabbed it seriously and started kind of penning my own songs, and it wasn't this rock or metal collective thing, I did, man. I dove real hard back into the country music, folk, bluegrass. Uh, I love, a lot of the folk and the what's considered Americana folk, that kind of stuff. John Moreland, God bless, he's one of my favorite
Oh
writers
yeah.
of all
He's so
time.
good.
And then started listening to some of the acoustic stuff like Bruce Springsteen did, Devils and Dust, that whole record and the song. I just started diving into those things, and really just kind of, City and Color. That's one of them. We talked about Dallas Green, or we put
Yeah.
messaging a little bit about Alexis on Fire. And I connect with Dallas Green on so many levels, like lyric, and like the way he's like in that metal band, and also does his acoustic kind of, not just solo acoustic. It's higher production, but more of the, I don't know what you call it, just indie Americana, whatever
Yeah.
his style of music is, City and Color wise. I love that dichotomy of what he has, and I kind of lean into that, and I feel like I have some parallels with him,
Yeah.
musically
Definitely
at
see
least.
that. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it's good to be diverse, I think. How the Spotify does the end of the year,
Oh yeah.
and it tells you who you listen to and whatnot.
Yeah.
It said this year I listened to 1,600 different artists. That was pretty good.
That's a lot. That's great, man. I
I
don't think
don't know
I hit that
what
mark.
most people
That's
are
a good
getting, but
mark.
I was
I
like,
listen to a
damn.
lot of stuff, but not 1,600. Yeah, I don't think I hit 1,000. I don't know. I didn't look at that one. I looked at the rap. I guess I maybe just kind of skimmed over that part. I need to go back and look at it. So I'm
Yeah,
curious
I
now.
found that one pretty interesting.
Yeah.
It's like, damn.
I mean, I do listen to a lot of different music. Pine Grove. I mean, that was my number one played Spotify artist, which is funny because I listen to a lot of my friends and stuff too, and local and regional cats out of Kentucky and just tri-state area. But yeah, it was interesting. That and Manchester Orchestra were my top two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Kentucky, and some people might jump my shit online, but I'd say Kentucky's putting out the best music right now.
I appreciate it, man.
Uh,
I'm biased. I grew up here.
I
I
mean,
live
it's a
here.
great community.
But
A lot of people are going to say Nashville or something or whatever.
well, yeah, sure, of course. I mean,
It
it
makes sense. There's a lot of people
there
there.
are great artists in Nashville too. Yeah, LA, everywhere. Any big city's got a huge amount. I think Kentucky's got a cool attitude about itself as far as musically.
Yeah.
I just feel like a lot of people check their ego a little bit, and I feel like that helps. It's beneficial to everybody. It's like the if I win, everyone wins attitude, and I think it's great. I mean, no better example than Tyler Childers, to be perfectly honest. I mean, look at all the people that are opening, like the undercard for Red Rocks. That's insane. I mean, it's so like humbling to know that someone can like gain. I mean, he worked hard and for a lot of years, but someone to gain that much, notoriety and just success through this industry that's hard, very very hard, and
Right.
to turn around and reach his hand back to all those that were there for him to support him. John R. Miller, of course, laid back country picker. He's got William Matheny, Abby Hamilton, who's an amazing artist. She sang on one of my songs on my last record, and gosh, I can't even think of who else. But S.G. Goodman, she's out of Kentucky.
Yeah.
I love that, and it's so genuine, and it's let's no one that's opening for him is helping his career. I guess is my point, right? He's doing it because he's headlining these places, the Ryman, Red Rocks, the places where he's had friends, like personal friends, come out and play. That there's tons of examples, but I feel like he's a good one for us currently to look at and be like, that's the way to do it, man. If you get any kind of notoriety at all, yeah, throw your hand out. I know other artists that have done it too, and for no personal reason, just other than helping a friend out.
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely set a big mark there. Speaking of John R. Miller, damn, he's good.
Yeah, that's my
I
favorite
love
record
John.
from that year. It come out 2021? I can't think right now. I don't know. I'm terrible. Time flies. I think it was last year. But anyway, that's one of my favorite records in the last like probably 5 years.
Yeah.
He's a great songwriter. I think if you talk to a lot of like people that know each other regionally, that know him and his bandmates and stuff, I think the majority of us agree that he's one of the best doing it right now.
Really?
know.
Yeah.
Oh, I think so, man. I know a bunch of people that they'll mention John R. Miller or Nick Jamerson's a great songwriter. Justin Wells is a great songwriter. I think a handful of folks just see those people and they're like, yeah, that's yeah. We're all kind of trying to like, shoot for the moon, and they're basically the moon.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely from people I've talked to, he definitely has a lot of respect in the community. So
Yeah, totally.
Another thing I noticed about your music is the album artwork. Speaking of John, I like John's artwork, and that just popped in my head. I thought he had some cool stuff. I heard that were you like an art teacher or something?
Yeah, man. I'm a high school art teacher too. So visual arts is like my background. Yeah,
That's
man. I went
awesome.
to school. I got a BFA, a Bachelor's of Fine Arts in Painting, and also a Bachelor's in Art Education. And I got my Master's at the Art Academy Cincinnati.
Yeah.
So yeah, fine arts, graphic design and stuff. That was kind of my sort of introduction into the art world. And then music came later. Like I mentioned, in college is when I started playing guitar. So actually creating and using music as my main art was later, after graduating with my bachelor's and all that stuff. But my current and last 5 years, 4 or 5 years, my album art, my single art's all been done by Jimbo Valentine, and
Okay.
he's based out of Huntington, West Virginia. He's done some work for, I mean, golly, man, he's done work for so many people. Uh, Tyler, he's done work for Tyler Childers. He's done work for, um, I'm blanking right now, but he's the V Club, back when it was called the V Club in Huntington. He did all their posters. They're now called the Loud, and I believe he does most of their stuff. But he has such a good eye, and as a visual artist, I love being able to give that to him and know that he's going to do something that's just killer. Because
Yeah.
you can get, man, just recording a record. Let's say you just recording a song. There's so many hours into that and sweat equity into that, and all this preparation and all this execution, and then you got bandmates and you got all this, all these guest performers, and just the list goes on. And that's before we even talk about the visual, before we even talk about the word artwork. And I'm so like, I don't micromanage, but I'm like, I'm on top of everything. I'm involved in everything. I just, when I did artwork too, it's just like, oh gosh, now I got to do this thing and the layout. And so now I get Jimbo to do all my stuff, and then I'll do like the template to lay it out. Like I have my vinyl's going to be a gatefold with an insert, and I can do all the lyric layouts and background stuff, and I can do all that. So I get him to do the main art and then send it to me, and then I'll put it on the templates and send it out to whoever I'm ordered it from. But yeah, I'm super stoked. So he did The Wind that came out in 2019. He did that album cover, and then the 4 singles from this past record, and then that record album cover, and it's awesome. I love him so much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
Jimbo
stuck out.
Valentine is great.
It stuck out to me. I thought it looked really
Thanks,
good,
man.
especially this day and age. I love art. I went to art school as well. I've got a Bachelor
Right
of Fine
on.
Arts photography.
Hey, yeah, all
Yeah.
right, man.
But
Heck yeah.
I'm not really in the digital world. I'm more like analog. I like
Yeah,
tintypes,
yeah.
chemistry. Like,
I love
but
tin types.
so I'm
I did
always
black
looking
and
at the
white
art.
photo. I did a black and white photo class in undergrad. Then I
Yeah.
did some digital photo in grad school. Yeah, I'm missing doing photography. I'm probably gonna get me a large format camera and get back into it.
Yeah.
I like the digital aspect just because I don't have. I mean, the film and film to paper aspect. That's so time consuming. Like, and
Right.
I have the majority of my time outside of my day job is music. Absolutely. So I kind of had between being a dad and playing music and trying to have a tiny bit of social life. I don't really, my art takes a hit on that. You know what I mean? So I'd like to
Right.
get back into digital photography and take my camera on the road with me and go to shows and take some shots and things.
Yeah. I That's what's great about the resurfacing of like the popularity of vinyl being out. I
Yeah.
think that's always going to be a revolving door, but that artwork aspect of having that big print,
12 by 12 inch. Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
it's really cool and it's beautiful. And that's why I wanted this new one to be a gatefold. Like it's a physical thing. You open it and you got to, you pull the sleeve out and look at the lyrics. And I don't know. I'm excited about it.
yeah,
I'm also working on some, well, I don't really say completely, but I'm working on another cool merch item that has to do with my own digital virtual or digital visual arts as well. So probably won't finish that until maybe summer, but who knows when I'll finish it. I've been working on it for like 3 years. I'll get it
So,
done eventually.
what else can you let us in on with your new release coming out for the new year? I mean, how many
Well,
tracks are we
that's
looking at?
that's the album that came out in February, this past February. Can't get
Okay,
there
just
from
the
here.
LP.
And that's going to be on vinyl. Yeah, it's like
Okay.
tricolor vinyl, gatefold. Real, probably try to come up with maybe, another shirt or something, little special merch item to kind of package with it or something if people want to do that. But I'm going to make up pre-sale info here real soon, before the new year, if not before Christmas. But in the next few days, I'm going to try to get something up on the socials and my website about pre-ordering the vinyl. I mean, vinyl, I've had the test pressing since, oh gosh, March. I've had them for a long time. It's just that whole industry is so backed up, and
Oh yeah.
I'm kind of low on that list. So, I've just got 500 units coming, and once that's supposed to be finishing up here in the next week or two, from what I understand. So hopefully the timeline is the same, and it takes like 6 weeks or so to ship out, 6 to 8 weeks. So I'm gonna try to just basically shoot for March 1st for shipping out the orders. So start taking pre-orders pretty soon.
Okay, good deal. Save me one.
Right on.
What about any big festivals in mind or touring for next year? Or
Well, nothing right now. I'm trying to think of anything that's landed that I can say. I don't think
stuff's just
so.
still in the
Like
works.
I work with Alan Roper. He's a killer booking agent. He works with the Buffalo Wobs and Darren Hackard and Jeremy Short and a handful of others. Pretty good lineup he has, but he's doing great. So he's working on next year right now. Probably March and past. Um, but yeah, working on some stuff there and hopefully land some cool festivals. We played some cool ones this past year. I was happy for that. Yeah. Just keep on trucking.
All right, man. Well, like I said, I appreciate you kind of giving me the backstory and everything. Um,
Thanks a lot.
just want to have this show to put music out there, or put music in front of people that are always searching for something new and they're just stuck on the radio.
Yeah,
So
man. I
hopefully,
appreciate it. It's real important, like stuff that you do. Like it really is like people like you that are interested in it and do this. It's very important. I think it's understated sometimes. The
yeah,
smaller festivals, regional festivals that get put on, the smaller, less followed podcast, college radios, like all that stuff is hugely important. It really truly is, man. So thank you.
yeah, yeah. I'll see you in a couple weeks, man. I can't wait.
Yeah,
It's gonna
man.
be a hell of a show.
It's gonna be a good party.
All right, everyone. Check the links down below to grab those tickets, and I'll have Eric's website down there too if you want to go over there and buy some merch or
Right on,
whatnot.
man.
And we'll go from there. So
Yeah, I'll have my merch with me too. So come pick something up at the show.
yeah.
Awesome,
All
man.
right.
Take care.
Have a good one.